I always thought ghost towns were just something out of horror movies, until I took a wrong turn on a desolate highway, and my GPS led me to a place that shouldn't exist. The sun was setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple as I drove into a town that looked frozen in time. The streets were eerily empty, the windows of the old buildings dark and dusty. Despite the unsettling quiet, I felt a strange pull to explore. As I wandered the main street, I noticed the shadows cast by the fading light weren't behaving as they should. They seemed to stretch and shift, almost as if they were watching me. Ignoring the growing unease, I continued to explore, drawn to an old diner with a flickering open sign in the window. Inside, the smell of stale coffee hung in the air, and the counter was covered in a thin layer of dust. I heard a faint whisper, like a radio tuning in and out, but when I looked around, I was alone. The shadows on the walls seemed to ripple with each sound, and I felt a chill run down my spine. Panic began to creep in, and I decided it was time to leave. As I hurried back to my car, I could feel the weight of unseen eyes on me, the shadows lengthening, reaching out as if to hold me back. I drove out of that ghost town as fast as I could, the sun now completely swallowed by the night. But the feeling of being watched didn't leave me. In my rearview mirror, I could see the shadows trailing behind, following me down the highway. When I reached home, I hoped the feeling would vanish with the dawn, but instead, it grew stronger. Each night, I'd catch glimpses of dark shapes in the corners of my eyes, shadows that seemed to move on their own. They were becoming bolder, lingering longer, daring me to acknowledge their presence. The final straw came one evening when I saw one of the shadows clearly, standing at the foot of my bed. It was darker than the night, more solid than any shadow should be. My heart pounded in my chest as it leaned closer, whispering in a voice that was both familiar and foreign. It wanted me to return, to bring others to the ghost town so it could feed. Now, I live in constant fear, knowing that the shadows are always with me, waiting for the day when I give in to their demands. The ghost town wasn't just a place, it was a living entity, and somehow, I had become part of its sinister story.